Alright, so welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to get that transmission shoved in here finally. But unfortunately I ran into a couple issues when I was going through doing that. So we're going to have to try a couple fixes. So stick around and see what we end up doing. Okay, so as I was trying to check everything out before putting the transmission in, found the little pilot bushing actually fell out of the crank, which is kind of not a good thing because it's supposed to stay firmly in the crank, kind of more of a press style fit. So it wasn't working, and after I took it out, it looked like it spun a couple times in the crank. So most likely there were some pits and such on the other shaft. So I'm guessing as bearing started going out and applying pressure one direction or the other, it started rotating the bearing. So unfortunately, since we were running the Chevy 4.3 and a Dodge NV4500 in this thing, this is a custom pilot bearing, which is like 25 bucks from Advanced Adapters and a couple days to get it here. So I don't exactly have that type of time or sitting around. I only have so much time in a day to get stuff done, so I've got some other junk that we can try and see how well it works. Okay, we're going to go at it two different ways. One is the mechanical way, which we're just going to take our little bearing here and we're just going to give it some It's like this should deform it just a tiny amount. That should allow us to get a little bit of tighter fit in the crankshaft. And then we're going to chemically attach it with some of this stuff. So we'll see how well that works. Alright, so we went and brought up the inside to a nice clean polish. It had like a slight edge to it from where the other shaft was wiggling around when the bearing went out. So this will get us in there and we'll crawl under and take care of that. Alright, so we're finally under here. We got our little bearing. And we're just going to grab our metal glue stick and smear it on. Alright, that should do it. And then we just smush her on in. Probably need my hammer. All right. Well, it's not moving right now. Alright, let's wait the hour for this chemical to set up, and then I can get putting everything back together. Alright, looks like that works pretty well. Just took the old shaft to make in my alignment tool, since I don't know where my other one went. There's no point in buying one, so. You can tell we're doing pretty good on wear. Still has all the little cross hatches from manufacturing. So that means we've just barely even broken it in. Alright, now I'm just going to have to throw the clutch on, throw the bell housing on, and then we'll be able to shove the transmission back in. Okay, so I definitely should have bought one of these jacks years ago. This is actually pretty nice for getting the heavy angle going. That way it can just hold up there and you can just keep working it up, sliding it in. It is pretty slick. Alright, I'm going to finish wrestling this thing into place. Then we can shove the transfer case on and we'll pretty much be done here. Excellent. Alright, so that's always a good way to start off a mid-October morning. But anyways, we got everything loaded up in there. Cross member, transfer case. Still have to hook up everything, drive shafts, and put fluids in. As you can hear, we're charging up the battery. So that's pretty much it here. Painting up the twin stick for it. So it was looking pretty rusty. So lots of menial little assembly. But then we'll be good to go with this thing. So yeah, that'll be nice. Okay, so here's a new development. This is our clutch fork and our slave cylinder. But if we see right here, there's a place where this was rubbing against here. And then on this shaft, there's a spot that was rubbing against the edge of the master cylinder. Essentially what happened was this fork somehow got pushed further in, so it wasn't on the pivot ball. And so it was always just precariously perched up there for the last 5 years. So I'm going to have to come in here and clearance this spot here so this fork has enough room to actually maneuver around. So we'll have to chop up the floor a little bit, get some good clearance, weld it back up, and call it a day. After we get that adjusted, then we can just put in the drive shaft again. Already have the rear shaft in, and we'll be pretty much ready to roll. Alright, so while I was in here, made a couple changes to our stick here. You can see, I'll point it out here, these extra little dents where I bent the tube, and then I put much bigger screws on, so I get some bolts on there instead of machine screws. Got a nice little bend up here. That's mainly because whenever I would shift into third gear, I'd be smashing right up there. Same with fifth gear. So this way I got full range of all the gear shifts without smashing into anything. And it got rid of the big wobble that it had. So we're essentially fixing all the little problems that I had when, because like with some of these projects that you do, not everything comes out exactly how you planned after driving it for a while. So I'm thinking it's time to bolt our flimsy little floor panels down. Then we can throw the seat in, and we can probably call this done and get back to some better stuff. Alright, we got everything in there. I found a couple of my old 2000 era Ricer style pedal things here. So that actually looks like it will work. Clutch was actually able to come down to its rightful place now that we got the clutch fork where it needs to be. So I think we're sitting pretty good for this operation. And it's about time to get this thing out of here. Alright, so thanks for joining us. And I guess I'll have to see you guys later.